podcast?
Yeah, so I was listening to a podcast with Peter Levels, kind of one of the initial kind of, you know, influencers kind of, public, what's it called? Publicizing and bringing attention to the concept of indie hacking and the culture of indie hacking and it being dead. And the
What is indie
comment
hack?
was indie hacking is essentially bootstrapping SaaS companies, lean, mean, very quick to market SaaS companies. You're doing it by yourself, indie, individual, and kind of hacking being like, kind of like I don't I'm not a coder. I'm not into the tech world that deeply, but just from my outside, kind of indie hacking, like you're using, you're kind of hacking your way through, but like I don't know. I think
It
a
just
lot of
means
the
coding.
tools coding. Okay, yeah. So I mean, the thing with that is like, okay, there's a couple things. First thing is that the competition and the saturation of that culture and that market is much more increased in as compared to the last 6, 7, 8 years where it kind of initially started. So it's a lot more saturated. And also the second thing is like it's kind of a more commonplace in even larger SaaS companies. They kind of like the indie hacking bootstrapping approach to a lot of things to get to ship features quickly and affordably, right? Um, and so it's more saturated. People and even bigger companies are just they're keeping an ear to the indie hacking community. They're using indie hacking as a strategy in shipping features and shipping new products. Um, because it's quicker, it's more cost efficient, because a lot of times you really only need an MVP. You know what I mean? You don't have to freaking raise millions and millions and millions, take all this time and time. Meanwhile, someone just put your same product to market in like a month. You know what I mean? And the third thing is AI. So AI is kind of giving a lot of it's kind of reducing the moat, right? It's reducing the barrier to entry. So a lot of people are much more easily able to ship new SaaSes with, I guess, AI and stuff like that. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think it's really interesting. I don't know if so yes, there it's definitely more saturated. There are, I think now, as the recent census, not like government census, but it was like 4 million something software engineers in the US, whereas the number of like mechanical engineers, for instance, was like 90,000. So there are just way more software engineers today than there were like 5 or 10 years ago. So yes, there are many more people that have the tools and skills necessary to go out and create their own SaaS products and launch them very quickly, especially with the rise of cloud computing and kind of like how a lot of cloud computing services are basically free up till a certain volume and then you start paying for it. So yeah, people are launching stuff for free, or sorry, people are launching stuff very quickly, low cost by themselves. Um, I suppose the question here is like, what is the next like opportunity on the horizon? Like how indie hacking was that opportunity, but what is the next opportunity, over the next 5 or 10 years, um, for people that want to do kind of like solo projects or basically just like bootstrapped businesses. Um, where is the puck moving in that regard? Because if you don't want to jump into the indie hacking lifestyle and go try to compete in that space, where is the sort of less saturated place that you can go look and try to do the same thing? Um, and I don't know if that's the right way to think about it. And there's so I want to humor myself and I want to go down that rabbit hole, but I also want to mention something, and that is that the ocean, like the world of possible SaaS tools that you can build, is only growing, right? The internet is vast, and like a tiny fraction of the possible businesses that could have been created so far. So even though it's saturated, more and more people are coming on the internet every single day, right? There's young people coming up are already on the internet, older people are getting on the internet. And so there's always going to be some SaaS tool for uh, some market that you can go find that used to not be on the internet. And so you couldn't actually sell a product to them. But now maybe there's like, 65-year-old like model train enthusiasts that need like a SaaS tool to like manage like ordering their parts. I don't know, like who knows? But my point is that um, more and more communities that were previously not on the internet are now on the internet, and now the market, the number of those people is large enough that you can actually create a very sustainable business by yourself selling to them. So I wanted to first say that I don't think it's dead in that like there's no opportunity there, and you have to build a really big company in order to compete there. I just think that we just got to keep thinking outside the box, like find more niches that are underserved, and then go build a product for them. So that's the first thing I'll say is be ruthless about finding the niche. Don't focus on just like, oh, I just want to like launch a product, like maybe it'll be
Yeah.
successful, like create like a product that allows you to like like save coupons for like local restaurants. No, everybody's already done that. Like that's something that everybody experiences. It's not niche enough. You need to find a niche. So that's like my first advice is like go find a niche as ruthlessly as you can. And the way Pieter says to do that is just go like do stuff that normal people don't do. Find the niche for those people, right? Because that's ultimately how you can build for a niche is being part of it. So that's my first thing. The second thing is where is the puck moving if you don't want to go jump into the indie hacking realm? And I think it's like at the mixture of physical things and software. I think there are lots of like software only tools, but more and more it's becoming because of the digitization of everything. You're going to be able to go and uh, as an individual purchase some special circuit board on the internet that previously you had to be like a big company and order in big like in bulk with like a representative at a big company like NXP, for instance. They sell a lot of electronic components. I had to be like a representative. I had to have like a special representative at NXP in order to order some special circuit board. Whereas Nick now, like there are a lot of companies selling direct to consumers to do this stuff. So here's my
Mhm.
example. Maybe I want to build a product for people that have model trains, and maybe like I want like to build an app that allows them to control their model trains from home, so they can like turn on and off their trains, like they can start them up from their phone when they're not home. Why would they want to do that? I don't know. If I'm part of the niche, maybe I know why they specifically want that service. But the point is that requires a little bit of hardware as well as some software. So this is just one example, but I think the puck is moving in the direction of like tech enabled probably. And people are seeing this more and more with the rise of AI helping people write code, right, Alex? If you don't need to help, if you don't need help like writing a blog article, what is the next thing that you're going to do? Like if ChatGPT can write all your blog articles, fewer, like that's going to be more saturated because more and more people are going to be able to do that. So what is the thing that AI has not, sort of conquered yet? It's definitely not conquered writing software, but it's getting there. It's going to get there. I would say tech-enabled products, building hardware, and that hardware doesn't have to be like, oh, you have to have a factory that's creating hardware, because now there are D2C brands that are selling little electronic components to people that want to do some indie hacking. So my thing is like think about where the puck is moving that is not software only. And if software is the tool that you're comfortable with, like how to write code, then chances are you can use that to go power some other business. So yeah, I don't know if that was cohesive, but my summary is tech enabled things is probably a decent approach to take as far as indie hacking. Like a physical component along with software. But anyway,
Mm.
what do you think, Al?
Yeah,
Any
I don't have too much knowledge on that additionally that I could riff off, but interesting. Yeah, and I agree. The market, the saturation is increasing, but the market's just always increasing too. So it's similar to a lot of things where the barrier to entry is just lower. So yeah, there's just going to be a lot more saturation, but also like the market here is just kind of like the future as well. So I think there's still a lot of potential, but you have to figure out how to do it in the right way and still have a moat. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I also think there's probably something to be said for people that want to like. Um, so there's this really popular website where people basically sell their old Lego kits to each other. It's like eBay but for Legos, um, and it's apparently like I heard about it a while ago, but it's like bootstrapped. It's like run by one person. It's very successful. Um, and I wonder if those types of like that's an example of using a niche to go find a market, right? Like maybe model trains is one of them. Like people that want to sell and trade model trains to each other, just build a website for those people and let them go like sell and trade model trains with each other. And I think you could build like a really loyal user base there. But
yeah,
anyway,
interesting.
that's all I've got.
Okay. I